Uh, Thank you for this opportunity. My name is John Kimotho. I'm a consultant in education and technology. And today I'm here to discuss the journey to respect as a digital public infrastructure. This journey started to answer the question of why is EdTech not meeting its promise? To give this context, the promise of bringing technology into education is to expand the access so that each and every learner, irrespective of where they are able to get education, quality education, and to have the freedom of using that quality education all the time, what we call resilience. Whether there is disruption, interruption of conflicts, climate change, or any other interruption, the learner should still continue having quality education. This promise has not been met, but the will and the investments have been there across the technologies that have come, from the use of the overhead projector to the use of current interactive digital content, even bringing artificial intelligence in it. We still noted that there is progress, but the promise and the vision has not been met. And therefore, a study embarked on asking the question, what is the current status of education and technology in low and medium income countries? And what we noted is that there were technology barriers that were in education and technology that were making it not scale in the right way. If I may just mention a few, is that one of them was infrastructure that included the devices availability to the learners and to the teachers, as also the connectivity, that many desired connectivity. There was also a challenge on content. Two ways. One of the challenges was that to move from one content to another was a problem. It required several logins and challenges were there. The other challenge with the content was that most of the content required licensing, and the licensing had durations, so that a project could come with content, but when the project duration ends, the content is no longer available to the learner. So those are the challenges that were there. The other challenge was skills. How does a teacher have the capacity to change from one solution to another, and new ones are coming on board? And to overcome all these then, the Africa Union Development Agency read from the reading perspective on digital courseware, which we did in 2024 and 2025, and now started working on a vision and plan. And that vision and plan, which is housed or taken care of by Africa Union Development Agency, NEPAD, gave also birth to the policy framework for standard-based and vendor-neutral education technology in Africa. And to bring this to speed and ensure that things are in place, today we are here launching Respect, which is a digital public infrastructure that allows every education technology solution, may it be an app for content, a solution that is helping teacher management, or any other education-related issue. When it is made Respect compatible, then it is available for free, which we call open source or open access. It is also able to scale in a way that you don't need a complicated device in order to access it. Even a simple smartphone can be able to access it. The same one that a child can borrow even at home, a teacher has, it can be able to do it, yet the same content can scale to other devices, laptops, and the rest. The same way we are saying, with a single login, then the user is able to access all these solutions because they have the standards that are making them interoperate smoothly between them. And then we are also saying the education leaders can be able to get data based on the data sovereignty of each entity, and they can be able to utilize this data for purpose of decision making going forward. To conclude, there's also data that goes to help the developers of these applications and solutions get revenue out of their effort. And in so doing, it allows them to bring in quality education solutions and apps that are relevant and localized to the specific areas that they have developed. And therefore, alignment to the curriculum, alignment to the area, alignment to languages is accommodated so much in respect that it is even encouraged. Thank you so much.
About 2.5 years ago, my patron, the patron of the Spix Foundation, George Spix, said he wanted to do something to improve the tech in EdTech. He had worked at Microsoft for many years as both a software developer and a senior manager, and I had worked there as a software developer and marketing specialist, platform evangelism. And we could see that there was something wrong with the tech in EdTech, that it didn't have the kind of multi-sided platform that made Windows successful, that made Android, Zoom, Airbnb, Uber, all of these multi-sided platforms that everybody uses. Somehow the EdTech for Development community had not learned how to build multi-sided platforms. So we decided we'd build one. Now, we didn't know a lot about EdTech, especially in Africa, but Mike Dawson, the CEO of Ustad Mobile, had been working in that field for a long time, so we hired him to help us with the technical side. I mean, George and I are technical guys, but we haven't written code for 20 or 30 years, so we need somebody who's more recent. We worked with the Mobile Education Alliance, the organizers of this event, to do research for us, to identify what were the key barriers that were preventing EdTech from being successful. And so after that research, we got connected with AUDA-NEPAD to develop a vision and plan for lowering those barriers. Policy barriers, technical barriers, commercial barriers, data barriers, right? And so everything we've done with respect since then has been hand in glove with AUDA-NEPAD to make sure that we were building the code that AUDA-NEPAD wanted for its vision and plan for the Africa that we want, we meaning Africans, right? The 2063 plan. We aimed for 2030 rather than 2063 because 2063 is forever from now, from technical perspective, right? Also, 2030 is only 5 years away. Beyond 5 years, who knows what AI is going to do, right? So we had to develop something that could work between now and when AI changed everything. But the thing is, AI isn't going to change everything in rural Africa for a long time because people are just now getting electricity. They're just now getting mobile phones. They're just now getting connected to the internet. The idea that AI is going to be everywhere across the low resource world, the low and middle income countries, not just Africa, that's not going to happen anytime soon. In the cities, sure. In the rural villages, no. And we're not trying to widen the digital divide, we're trying to narrow it. And so we're focused on building technology that works in the lowest resource communities. All they gotta have is electricity, doesn't need to be connected to the grid, solar is good enough, electricity and a low-end mobile phone. The kind of iTel 5-year-old used phone that's common in rural Africa today. Those things don't run AI. And the phones that are available today, the top of the line phones, they don't run AI either, natively on board without an internet connection. So we're trying to develop a platform that helps people on the other side of the digital divide take advantage of the technologies that are available today and be orthogonal to AI. As AI gets better, as it becomes more pervasive, it'll fit great in respect, but we don't depend on it. And we're not relying on it happening anytime soon. So that's what we're doing with respect. And the code's actually not that complicated, right? It's not like we needed a team of 100 people in 10 years. This was developed by about half a dozen people in about a year, year and a half. We're hiring a lot more developers here in Africa because we want to develop it more and more in Africa. We want to be the best place for African developers to work, the very best African coders, right? If you're watching this and you know how to write code, particularly in Kotlin on Android, talk to us. Send us a resume. We're trying to hire the best people in Africa, and we're probably going to be the best paying people in Africa other than like Google and Microsoft and so on. So instead of going overseas, stay in Africa, work for us, make African EdTech better. And that's about it for me. Next question?
Maybe a message to those people who are shying away from the AI, now that thinking that AI kills creativity.
I don't know. I use AI every day. I've got Gemini, Grok 3, and Open ChatGPT as pinned tabs on my browser all the time. I use AI every day. It's a great way to do research, studying every academic paper, reading every paper. I just can't keep up. But if I have a question I need an answer to, I go to the various different LLMs and see what they agree on. I love AI. AI is a great way to educate yourself once you're already basically educated and you know what questions to ask. And I've seen some great demos that if you have a high bandwidth internet connection, you can use AI as a tutor for even lower level subjects. But you can't do that on a 5-year-old iTel phone in the middle of nowhere without an internet connection. It's just not going to work. And that isn't going to change for a number of years. And so we're trying to solve the problems that exist today, right, while taking advantage of AI as it becomes more and more available in that offline low resource circumstance. So we don't depend on AI within Respect, but we'll take advantage of it as it becomes available in the low resource environments that we're targeting. Does that make sense? All right.
Jim, I wanted to find out, my name is
Please,
Fred.
a little louder.
My name is
Pilots under development now in Liberia, Ghana, Kenya, and Rwanda. Okay, that's what we call the first wave. But as you heard from John earlier, many other countries are now saying we want to jump on board right away. So we will have pilots soon. But the important thing to recognize is these are not like courseware pilots. To pilot a piece of courseware, you have to do a randomized controlled trial with 2 different sets of teachers and students and so forth of different pieces of courseware to determine over a long period of time which one produces the best student outcome. Respect isn't courseware. Respect is a platform that courseware runs on. All we have to show is, does the courseware actually produce data, the Respect compatible courseware, produce data that goes to Respect, and does Respect send it to the Ministries of Education? Does the different courseware actually interoperate properly on the platform? There's really a very small number of things to test when piloting Respect itself, right? Because it is just an enabler of other courseware. Think of it like the internet. If you want to prove that the internet works, you're not proving that this website or that website has better information than the other, or that online courseware is better than offline courseware. You're just saying, can you get a reliable connection? Is the data fast enough? Is it cheap enough, et cetera, right? So that's a digital public infrastructure, internet in one case, Respect in the other. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
You, sir. Perfect.
Hello, my name is Barbara Glover. I work for the African Union Development Agency. The African Union Development Agency is a development arm of the African Union, which means that we are tasked with implementing key priority projects for all the 55 countries of the continent. One of our key priorities is education, transforming education and utilizing innovation and technology to be able to achieve this. This launch that we've had of our 2030 EdTech policy is to ensure that by the year 2030, no African learner would not have access to EdTech solutions or digital tools that can support education across the continent and in all the 55 countries that we serve. We have a vision that technology can transform a lot for the continent. By the year 2030, it's estimated that half of the world's young people will be in Africa. This means that we have the potential and we need to maximize it. We want to ensure that if half of the world's young people are in Africa, they have the right education, they have the right skills, and they have access to technology if desired to be able to support socioeconomic development on the continent.
So what is your plan for the 5 years that you're planning by 2030 about the Respect program?
This week we launched our policy framework and the vision and plan, and what we are targeting now is that in the next 1 year we would receive inputs from all the 55 countries, the Ministries of Education, on what they are thinking about in shaping that vision and plan. This is because we want to sustain ownership for whatever the outputs are, and for all African governments to buy into this vision and plan. Once we have launched the full document, we will then go into implementation phase, starting with pilot countries. We are utilizing the Respect platform as one of the key pilot initiatives for this EdTech vision and plan, because we want to start things and not wait until even the plan is out before we look at initiatives. We want to take advantage of all the existing initiatives that are present and utilize them to proof test the vision and plan and see if it's going to truly address our continental challenges or not. Continent, this vision and plan is looking at addressing 3 main pillars, and one is the challenge of policy and the lack of implementation. We identify that policy implementation is not always effective because there is a lack of ownership of the policy development process, and that's why with this vision and plan we're ensuring a more consultative process and engagement with all our member states, all the Ministries of Education. We've had a series of meetings and dialogues since January 2025, and we aim to do that to the end of the year to ensure that once the vision and plan is ready, it's not something abstract or new to our policy and decision makers, but it's something that they can implement. Also within there and the policy framework that we developed, we did a 3-month research on what prevents policy implementation in our educational sector. We wanted to understand what are the barriers, what prevents our countries from adopting these policies and initiatives within that policy framework. And then we provided recommendations on how to address some of these challenges across the various countries on the continent.